Hello and welcome to School Matters. Thanks for joining us. Our guest today is no stranger, Dr. Stephen Fisher, Superintendent of Cleveland County Schools. Welcome back.
Well, thank you, Ron. It's always great to be here with and enjoying some time with you and just have an opportunity to talk about our wonderful school system and the folks that make this school system special. So I appreciate the opportunity.
We feel the same. How about, this is approaching the end of the school year, so let's recap this school year and talk about some of what you consider to be successes for the year.
Absolutely, Rhonda. It is so hard to believe it's May. It's almost, it doesn't seem real. Understanding, writing the date, when you start with an 05, you know that's nearly the end of the year. And it seems like just yesterday we were beginning the school year. Just a wonderful school year, a wonderful year for our schools, our community. It's been wonderful to see our students and our staff excel in lots of different things. We started the school year out with a couple state championships in football, which is always a big deal in Cleveland County. And to have two state champions in Cleveland County was tremendous. You know, and going through the fall, just the wonderful things in terms of back to school and the initiatives that we've got happening in our schools, and seeing the excitement build in the fall with students and staff, and then the community support that pours in for our schools is really inspiring. Continuing, we've had the opportunity in the winter sports to win a couple state championships in the winter sports with some swimming, with some indoor track that were great. We had some individual wrestlers that were successful, and seeing our students thrive in terms of that. Seeing our young people excel. On and off the courts in the field, but in the theaters, in our music productions, in the arts, in your neck of the woods, in your world, in career and technical education, just seeing the tremendous things that we've got going on. And we ended the semester with students that are finishing their internships and CTE, and seeing and hearing from them just the impact that those internships are making in their lives, and hearing, it's great to hear from the students and the impact that internship is having, but the impact it's having on our business community, and the number of people that want our interns is really, it's humbling to see all those things. And we continued in the spring. Again, the springtime's full of spring concerts, and you get back outside for some spring sports, and just seeing the wonderful things that happen when the flowers bloom. You get to deal with great things that happen in the spring, and so it's been a really good experience that we've seen this year. Our students have been tremendously successful. Our staff has been successful. It's awesome to see those things materialize in here at the end of the year. Get to May, and the pace definitely quickens, picks up. We've got a lot of things going on. We're Wednesday, May 13th, I believe, we'll be beginning end of grade testing, and then soon after that, our high schools will begin end of course testing. Had an opportunity to already attend some awards banquets and some scholarship ceremonies that see our students succeed and be awarded scholarships. Thursday, May 7th, we have our big Educational Foundation Scholarship Banquet. So just the spring is full of really good things that are going on. If you can't get excited about those opportunities that to see our students and staff excited, then just something's wrong. But it's a really good time. We've had a blessed school year continue, and I just give credit to that, to the students and staff. We have teachers and staff that make up Cleveland County Schools, make it special. Our families, we really appreciate, and I've tried to really emphasize this in talking to community groups and talking to parents. We really appreciate that parents trust us with their children, that they give us the opportunity to educate their students, and that's a big deal. As a parent of 3 students, that your children are important to you, your grandchildren are important, and all those things. And so we just really appreciate that opportunity to educate 14,000 students here in Cleveland County, and we feel like we're making a difference and making a positive impact, partnering with parents, families, community supporters, and people throughout this county to make Cleveland County a great place to live, work, learn, and play.
Couldn't agree more. Now, you're out in the schools a lot, so talk about some of the memorable things you've seen.
Lots of really cool things. I love to see, go in our elementary classrooms and see that love of learning, see students engaging in learning to read, the literacy work that we have going on. I love to see students, to really experimenting with whether it's mathematics or science, and and you know, was at one of our elementary schools the other day, and students were just working through fraction problems and seeing that how that relates to later in life. You know, middle schools are special. I had the opportunity to spend 5 years of my career at the middle school and seeing those things. But, you know, as an old high school person, I'm partial to a little high school. And I tell you, I'll give you experience that I had about 2 weeks ago. We had one of the members of General Assembly, our local elected delegation, had done a legislature school visit. And we had the opportunity to walk through one of our high schools. And we visited some AP classrooms, saw the teacher was doing a tremendous job of engaging students and learning there. But we had the opportunity to visit some of our career and technical education classrooms. And the teachers did a great job of explaining to the local, the elected officials about what was going on, what their classes were like. But the thing that made me the most proud was our students that represented Cleveland County extremely well. They came in, they shook everybody's hand, they introduced themselves, they took the elected officials around to show them what they were doing in the class. We visited the agricultural classroom, we went to visit the greenhouse, we went to auto mechanics, we went to several different classrooms there, and the students got the opportunity to show, this is what I'm learning, this is what I'm doing, and this is how it relates to what I want to do in the future. And to me, that's powerful. That's really a great show of success that we're having in our schools, that the students are learning. Mm-hmm. They are doing things that prepare them for their post-secondary careers. But just the interaction that those students had with the adults made you proud and made you really believe in the next generation of leaders that we're producing here in Cleveland County. So really great school experiences. I think visiting schools and visiting classrooms is one of my most enjoyable parts of what I get to do every day. And really it's in a way of showing the support for our teachers and showing support and encouragement for them of really saying that we've got your back, we know what you're doing, and we know the impact that you're having in classrooms. So it's definitely pleasurable to be in and out of classrooms and schools.
Now, safety is and will continue to be an important topic. Talk about some of the safety protocols that put you at ease.
Absolutely, and I think we've got a great safety team. I think I've mentioned before, you know, the addition of this year, the first time we had a designated school safety officer, and Daniel Howe, retired from the sheriff's office, and Daniel's been a great addition to our team. We've recently, last year, we began to have our walk-through weapons detector systems at our middle and high schools. Those have gone well. We continue to upgrade that. We've introduced those into athletic events, this year we began a clear bag policy and trying to take those next steps to make sure that not only our school days are safe, but all of our events are safe. And we want people to come to our schools and to have a wonderful time. And we make sure that the doors are locked when they're supposed to be locked, and we're having those protocols, but we also want our campuses to be open and inviting for visitors and for families and community. So we want to make sure we're doing that in a safe way, and having our walk-through detectors, having the clear bag policy, doing the things that we're supposed to do is important to us. We also lean heavily on the responsibility of parents and community members to help keep our schools safe. And so when we have an incident or there are things going on, we want them to know. We work through programs like See Something, Say Something to take care of students and the safety aspects that may be going through. And one of the things that sometimes maybe isn't included in the safety conversation is our work with cell phones. And you know, 2 years ago we adopted a policy to really to try to clean up cell phones across our district, and that students don't have cell phones out in school. And so that has been a noticeable difference in our school environment. And so we continue to work through that. We continue to educate our students, continue to educate our parents and staff members about, you know, from those hours, the beginning bell to the end of bell, that cell phone doesn't need to be out. It doesn't need to be a distraction. Not saying you can't have a cell phone, it just doesn't need to be out and being used during the school day. And that's helped with the safety aspect as well. We want our students engaged in active learning and active participant in the class that the teacher is leading there, not focusing on what may or may not be happening on the cell phone or social media and those things. So there's a concerted effort in that safety aspect as well.
Okay. You talked about the end of the school year being here and how that time of the year is special, and you attend the graduations, probably the highlight of the year and a highlight of a student's entire educational career. So talk about what graduation means to you.
Well, the end of the school year is special because it brings together everything we've worked for all year. You put together a plan over the summer and you implement that plan in August and beginning those things through the fall and the winter and into the spring. And as you conclude the school year, you can see that plan come together, the completion of a lot of good things. And you see some students that may struggle early, but get it together near the end. You see some students that may have had bumps and obstacles along their path. But seeing them at the finish line and that final finish line in terms of graduation and our work is so rewarding for our students, so rewarding for our faculty and staff. You know, a lot of times we do focus on our students, and rightfully so with graduation, but graduation is also a time for our teachers and our staff members to look and realize what they've poured in to those students. But graduation is a great time. It's a celebration of 13 years for most of our students and some of our students that came to us maybe during their career, but celebrating the hard work, the resiliency, the perseverance, the success that they've had. And it marks an end of one chapter, but it really marks the opening of the next chapter of their lives. Hopefully, as they graduate, they're prepared for those next steps and that post-secondary career that hopefully we've done a good job in partnering with their parents and our community that they're becoming productive citizens in Cleveland County. And some of them will go and do great things. Hopefully they go to college and do wonderful things there. Then they come back to this area, this region, and become leaders and molders and shapers for the next generation of leaders in Cleveland County. 3
words I've heard you say a lot over 12 years. And I hear it a lot in the education world, statewide really, nationwide. Enrolled, enlisted, employed. Talk about how our community of schools are preparing students for one of those 3 directions.
We talk about that, and we don't focus that just in a high school perspective. That begins in pre-K and kindergarten and all through elementary school to understand that our students, it's more than just getting them graduated. There's a lot of success in a student graduating, but the success of graduation is accentuated because our young people are prepared for what's next. And I've said this before, we don't want to graduate them, shake their hand, and then worry about what's next. We want those young people to be successful, whether that's going to work, whether that's going to a college or university, or whether that's going to the military. We want them to have a plan for the next chapter of their lives. And I know in your world, in the CT world, we're doing some things. We've got some job fairs in the next couple of days to make sure that those seniors have every opportunity to be ready to transition from a K-12 student learner to an adult, and having that adult job, looking and having opportunities to make successful and see the dreams of their lives come true. So those are all really important things, and to making sure that our young people are prepared for that next step.
Okay, very good. Can agree completely. So don't go away. We've got more questions for you, and don't you go away, because we'll be right back after this.
Chef Paul Prudhomme once said, "You don't need a silver fork to eat good food." Well, on Cleveland County Kitchen, we don't have a silver fork, but we sure do serve up lots of good food. Hi, I'm Deborah Blanton. I hope you'll join me for the next Cleveland County Kitchen. Each month, we offer a complete farm-to-table experience. We visit local growers, we learn about nutrition, and wrap things up with wonderful meals prepared by our guest chefs. It's a lot of fun. I hope you'll join me for the next Cleveland County Kitchen.
These lines, like the creases in my father's hands, show the hard work and sacrifices of a line worker. These lines are the connections my father helped build between people, businesses, and organizations. They tell the story of how we invested in ourselves. We're public power, and these lines are our lines.
Welcome back to School Matters. Today we're talking with Dr. Stephen Fisher, Superintendent of Cleveland County Schools. Let's pick up with a recent presentation you did with the Chamber of Commerce where you talked about our successes with advanced placement in the area of advanced placement courses. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, thanks, and absolutely. I had an opportunity to talk to our chamber about a number of things, and one of the things that we highlighted in that was the work that we're doing in advanced placement classes. Sometimes that doesn't get as much conversation as maybe as it should. We focus on a lot of things, and we do a lot of things as a district, and we talk a lot about, job preparedness. We talk a lot about, career technical education, internships, and those things are extremely important. But one of the things I feel like that recently we've kind of neglected to talk as much about is our success in advanced placement. We want to make sure that parents know that not only do we support students that are going into the workforce or going into different careers, Cleveland County Schools provides an exceptional educational experience for our top students. The students that graduate from Cleveland County Schools can compete with any student that graduates from any school across America. Recently, we've had a Moorhead Scholar this year, and that's an extremely prestigious scholarship for the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Routinely, we have Goodnight or Park scholarships from NC State. Our young people are being successful and competitive for students all across our state and our nation. Our advanced placement courses this past year, 24-25, we had more students take advanced placement courses than we ever have before. And so students are engaging in that rigorous curriculum. One may think, well, if you have more kids taking those classes, you probably don't have as many passing the classes because more students are taking it. The actually opposite was true. Not only did we have more students taking courses, we had a higher percentage of students passing those courses than we ever have. Over 70% of the students that took an advanced placement or an AP course passed that AP exam. That means that they're getting that college credit. They're making a 3, 4, or 5 on that exam and getting college credit at the college or university that they're attending. So not only are our students heavily involved in dual enrollment, the Career College Promise, CCP classes through Cleveland Community College, they're also taking advanced placement courses at our high schools and getting college credit there. And in many circumstances, those two worlds are colliding, that our students are having unreal experiences in high school that are preparing them for college and giving them 1, even 2 years of college credit before they leave high school. It's just been really neat to see. Our high schools are doing a really good job of creating pathways for students that want to take 6, 8, 10, 11 advanced placement courses and align with the CCP classes that are offered through the community college. So as you know, a lot of times that 9th grade year is exploration. We want those students to take several different courses. And in 10th grade, you continue to get in some of that exploration, but you start to narrow the focus. And then 11th and 12th grade, those students are beginning to really focus in on pathway, and whether that's a career and pathway, a CTE pathway, whether that's a heavy dose of Career College Promise and dual enrollment, whether that's a lot of AP classes or a hybrid, a mix of all of those. We want to make sure that experience in high school is providing all of our students that are ready to go to the workforce after high school, but also our students that want to fly and go to some of the most prestigious universities in this country have that opportunity through the work that we're doing. So we're extremely proud of our students. The work that's happening with our teachers and staff in their AP classrooms is phenomenal. So that's one of the things we really tried to emphasize, that we have an educational program that can be tailored to all students. Every child in our county, we've got opportunities to meet their needs.
Absolutely. You touched on the support from the community, the wonderful support, and I think one of the best examples of that is our Educational Foundation. Talk about their impact.
Our Educational Foundation, it's hard for me to explain and tell people how really powerful that foundation is. It's always been a great partner. They are, aligned so well to our school system. But over the last 3 or 4 years, they have just doubled down in their support. I mean, their Educational Foundation, led by Jamie Davis and Ben Cavanis, they talk a lot about celebrate. And really what they're wanting to do is provide opportunities to celebrate our students, celebrate our teachers, celebrate our staff. This year, we raised an all-time record money for scholarships, almost $250,000 of scholarship money raised this year by our foundation. Thursday, May 7th, we're going to give away over $200,000 of scholarships to students as a part of that educational foundation. Not only do they support those scholarships, they support, you know, initiatives that we have like robotics, like My Home Library Project, like, you know, Math Day, all these things that our foundation supports. One of the things that our foundation is really looking at to get involved with, and it will come up for additional discussion with the foundation, is how do we better support, or how does the foundation better support beginning teachers? How do they better support mentors? Because we know the importance of continuing to recruit and retain high quality teachers in the profession. And so how does the foundation support, you know, we do a lot of things to support students, but they're really looking and exploring how they support our beginning teachers, our mentor teachers, with the funds that they raise. So I'm excited about the direction the foundation is going. It's a phenomenal group of people that work extremely hard to celebrate the good things that are happening in our school district.
The district recently participated in a large literacy project. Tell us about that and why literacy is so important to you.
Well, as an old high school math teacher, you know, literacy has been a driving force that what I've done and some things that I've pushed, especially over the last several years. And last year we began the project, and then this year we grew it. It's called the My Home Library Project, and our goal is to put a home library in the homes of every Cleveland County Schools elementary student. There's a strong correlation between the number of books in a home and students' academic achievement levels. And so while a lot of our families, a lot of our homes have, you know, robust home libraries already, we want to add to those. And for the homes that don't have that already, we want to begin those home libraries. And so our ultimate goal is that every K-5 student every year gets a home library, a set of books at home that align with, you know, the grade level specific and some of the standards that we're teaching. And so they are building a library. So if a student starts in kindergarten, they, you know, K1, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, they have 6 years to add to their home library. And if a family has multiple kids, you can see the number of books that they're adding in the home. So far, the first year, we added first and second grade. This year, we're able to do first, second, and third grade. And so that's over a $100,000 project that we have multiple community partners. We run that through the United Way of Cleveland County, and in partnership with our foundation, puts those My Home Libraries in our schools and in the hands of every student in Cleveland County. I'm excited about the direction that goes. Every time I speak about that, we always have somebody interested. How can I partner? How can I be involved? And I would encourage folks that are listening here today to say, oh, that sounds like a project I want to get involved in. You reach out to the school system, tell them you want to get involved in our PALS or our My Home Library project. We'll get you plugged in on how you can help, whether it's stuffing book bags or whether it is giving financially to support the work that's going on. We understand the importance of community literacy. And while this has a direct impact of what we're doing in Cleveland County Schools, I believe it's got a bigger impact of what we're trying to do as a community. Because, you know, literacy is not just a school system initiative. Literacy is a community, a county initiative. And the more literate, the better read, the more educated our community is, then the benefits of that manifest, you know, tons over time.
Absolutely. Lots of talk about the state budget, teacher pay, school funding. What do we need to know?
Oh, budget. You know, May is the budget time. Our Board of Education recently passed their proposed budget, and the budget process in North Carolina, it's a little bit odd, but we've done our budget proposal, and that goes to the county, and then ultimately waiting on the state. And as people know, we didn't get a state budget this past year, so we've been working all year without a state budget, which has made budget planning difficult. And teachers haven't got raises, and I will thank and promote our local elected officials. We have a great Cleveland County Schools teacher supplement, and that's the shared work that's been done by our county commissioners and our school board. They've done a great job with that. But the importance of teacher pay and what's happening at the state level is something that is important. It's a concern of mine because as we continue to recruit people into the education industry, teacher pay is important. And teacher pay it's not everything, but it's a big, significant factor in recruiting people to come in to the teaching profession. And it's it's harder to find teachers. It's harder and harder to find people coming into this profession. So I think our state really has got to continue to focus in on what are we doing with teacher pay, what are we doing with teacher compensation, how does that work, and we definitely need a state budget for the 26-27 school year, just to be able to continue to keep up with the rising costs that we're seeing, and we're seeing in our entire lives, but definitely seeing in the educational realm.
So how does our community support teachers and public education?
I think, to get involved, and get involved at the level of where you're at. If you're a parent, get involved with your child's school. If you're a community member, how do you plug in? Because education is an investment into human capital. When you invest in education, you're investing in people, and you're investing in the community. It may be a little different than investing in the stock market or investing in a business, but when you invest in students and you're investing in education, you're investing in that future. Whether it's getting involved with the Educational Foundation, whether it's getting involved with My Home Library Project, whether it's being positive and supporting of the people that are doing the work in our schools. Too often in our society today, we're quick to tear others down, or we're quick to point a finger, or quick to be critical when we don't have all the information. That just doesn't happen in the educational realm. That happens in society at all. And Rhonda, you and I are probably guilty at times of being critical when we ought to be uplifting. We ought to be encouraging. And even when things don't go perfect, to encourage one another. And I think that one of the things that people can continue to do is to encourage teachers, to talk about education and teachers in a positive manner. Yes, we have challenges. We have challenges with teacher pay. We have challenges with budget. We have challenges that with the educational system. But we need to be positive. We need to be encouraging. We need to be uplifting, and talking about the good things that we've got going on. I believe that success breeds success, and if we can focus on these negative things that tear the system down, that's not beneficial. So the community can rally behind the good things that are happening in Cleveland County Schools, with many of the things we've talked about here, and I can continue to talk on and on. But at some folks, we got to, they'll have to turn the channel, and we'll get it to a different program. But just that encouragement, being involved, being involved at whatever level that from wherever you are in life, see how you can plug into your public schools. Because although you don't have a child in school, maybe you don't have a grandchild in school, the educational attainment of students in your community is important, and your investment is investment in human capital.
So very well said. So one last question. We got to get this one in. As most people probably know, you've announced that you're retiring at the end of June after 12 years as superintendent. So I'd like to get you to talk about some of the highlights, some of the things you're most proud of.
Well, I was hoping our time would run out before we get to that question, but I'll tell you what, serving 12 years as superintendent of Cleveland County Schools has been unbelievable. It's really hard to believe. It's been 12 years. It seems like just yesterday Dr. Bruce Boyles was retiring, and I was moving into that role. I have been blessed with tremendous mentors along the way. I have been blessed with friends and people in our district, but I think, the highlights to me stem around seeing people be successful, seeing our students successful. And again, we this time of year, we're talking about scholarships, talking about graduation. We see our young people be successful, seeing our teachers and staff be successful. Just recently, we had one of our teachers named the North Carolina Holocaust Educator of the Year. Just seeing that success, seeing the growth, seeing the things that we're doing for students in the area of career and technical education, seeing that over 30% of our students are going to graduate with either associate's degree or a certificate. They're going to graduate from the community college before they graduate from high school. Seeing that over 70% of our students are passing their AP exams. Those are the things that excite me. And as I look back and reflect, there's been lots of really cool opportunities that I've had, but seeing that success for students, for staff, for our community is the difference maker there for me. But it has been a joy, and I am thankful for Cleveland County.
Well, on behalf of Cleveland County and Cleveland County Schools, let me thank you for your leadership and your unwavering support of students, families in Cleveland County. It's very much appreciated. As said in education, the measure of true success is the impact you've had on lives, and yours has truly been immeasurable.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you.
And thank you for tuning in for this edition of School Matters.